We should think that the receiving the teaching is not on behalf of this life and not on behalf of attaining better life in the next life. Instead, we should generate the enlightenment thought that on behalf of attaining complete enlightenment, I should receive it. The renowned Chonangpa Kunkatolchok, while collecting all the pith instructions of all the Tibetan schools, he found the parting from the four instructions. The instruction on parting from the four instruction is very inspiring and moving to him in order to turn his mind towards the genuine spirituality or genuine sort of dharma. Because of that, while he collected all the different variety of the pith instructions of all the schools and made 100 sort of sections, and among them he kept the pith instruction on departing from the four attachments on the first, in the beginning. As a resumption of the teaching, yesterday's teaching, which is firstly going to give discourses on the perfection of concentration and the wisdom, leaving behind the middle perfections, such as the perfection of morality and so on. Because knowing or understanding the exposition or the explanation on these two, the perfection of samadha or perfection of concentration and wisdom, is very important. The fault of, first to know, is the fault of not familiarizing or not practicing the meditation or the familiarizing in concentration, because the opposing factor of it, the distracted mind is the door, is the very door of all the other, all the other faults. For instance, doing the sadhana on behalf of, in maintaining the commitments on behalf of oneself, performing it with the distracted mind is not beneficial, not beneficial. That is why one of the earlier Lamte practitioner called Sonam Tempa, he pointed out that the actions committed out of the three doors of us, performed with the distracted mind is meaningless. It doesn't benefits, neither it benefits nor it brings fault.
Umi yung to some jachamo chene, chena tawa yabo go to yori, Hirana go chambori, gum shipping nandu, tawa top go. Yinayo gum mena, Nelu to Yamare, tea chamber, Yamon bone, Mutu, Dunga bone to Yamar.
If the followers studies well the Madhyamika text, if the followers studies the Madhyamika text, then they would obtain the simulated sort of understanding of they would attain the understanding of the ultimate reality. And in order to mature that understanding into a furthermore what you call the matured understanding, it has to be familiarized on the basis of the concentration. Without concentration, there will be no sort of way to instill the real sort of understanding of ultimate reality. And without it, there's no way of overcoming our the negative emotions and all the different kinds of sufferings.
Gum chena something is some mafana, Yankee dropped where Yamari, Yankee Mina, Yena say at the Conguri, Chesa gum mena, Yena Yogumari.
If the followers have no stable concentration, then they will not to be able to attain the clairvoyances, supernatural powers, mental supernatural powers. Without this, it is not possible to do very beneficial sort of deeds of other beings. So lacking sort of stable concentration within oneself is a big sort of hindrance of performing beneficial deeds for other.
Gum chena thing is the top guna. Then Tarabadon, Tamche Chamba car drop, Guna, drop Tache Chatari, Kale, Kame between a drop to you.
Through familiarizing in the very stable, familiarizing in the concentration, or in another word, meditation. When the followers attain the very genuine sort of concentration, which is known as the samadha, then there is no difficulty of proceeding onward the practices in order to gain accomplish one's own objective.
Shina London Sangatal Mongo Yore, the Tiba Chimbu, the Kinado passing to something chibari. Hirab don't Hong chibari.
Although there are many sort of different terms utilized in the text for the samadha, the calm abiding and the concentration and so on, in accordance to the present Paramitayana, the Mahayana, the calm abiding as well as the perfection of concentration or perfection of meditation are similar, are identical. Likewise, the wisdom and the perfection of wisdom as well as realizing sort of realization of superior sort of nature, realizing the superior reality, superior thing, superior entity. There are so many different terminologies used in the text, in according to Mahayana, it is identical.
Sometimes
In brief, the definition of concentration refers to our sort of mental state, which abides one pointedly on a single object.
Sometimes some gum do ludon some the devil the chogging maybe devil they as a take send the devil check as a tell tonju then
to classify it, there are three. First is known as the concentration. The concentration which enables the practitioners to abide physically, sort of abide in the state of physically and mentally, abide in the state of blissfulness, physically blissful and the mentally blissful in this life. So in shortened term, the term for that, the first classification is known as concentration, abiding in a bliss in this life.
Then nimba de yanteng amba drubi sometimes in the temon mai bi tengen the cheme bachi chongchu chema no heori de drubi sometimes the yanteng amba drubi something.
And the second one is known as concentration, which concentration that intensely instill the qualities. That is the short term. It is that such concentration is known as that because it enables the practitioners to gain the further or superior common and uncommon qualities.
Somba yana drubi someday se dingen jeng tongku tene same jeng nela soba hiwa cherimbo sheya panjolo chembo sheya la soba gar guna te dingen jeng topshi shigol tele sanjeng dan shebi dingen jeng.
And third one is known as the concentration which enable the practitioners to perform or to engage in the beneficial deeds of the others, such as dispelling with the power of that concentration, they can they can dispel the illness of other beings, as well as they can prolong the length of the life of other, and they can become as a condition to gain, to make others more wealthy and so on.
Thing the hina gambala tombo hina ge juso tari che go re somebody juso tari ma je pa gambaina lo tontal ganna hina tog ma re so choji.
The great Indian scholar Choje Atisha said that in order to undertake the practice of concentration, the practitioners or the followers have to do the preparation or the arrangements of engaging in the very sincere, engaging in the very genuine practice, without doing preparation or without arranging the causes and condition of this practice, even if the practitioner engage in the practice, in the so-called sort of practice of concentration for many years, there will be no successful in success. There will be no success. Both the Indian scholar Kamalashila and the Arya Asanga pointed that for this we need for this or to instill genuine perfection of concentration, genuine concentration within one sound mental stream. 6 kinds of conditions have to be assembled. First, we need to see an appropriate place, the place where the practitioners can collect the livelihood easily. And the second one is the place where there are no no sort of dangerous or harmful animals. And third one is the place where there is no place which is not conducive for flooding. And fourth one is the place where there are no people gathering in a day, and where there is no sound at night. And fifth one is to find out the spiritual companion, spiritual sort of friend, the friend like the teachers or the spiritual friend who themselves are philosophically sort of educated, adequately educated in the doctrine, and matured adequately in the sort of spiritual practices, spiritual practices, and the spiritual companion, ordinary spiritual companion, who have a same kind of thoughts, and same kind of the contacts. Such companions, spiritual companions, the guru, teacher, or any spiritual friends are very important. That is from the part of the first causes the place. Now the second sort of cause or condition from oneself, one should be less less greedy. Yeah, the practitioner should be in a state of less greediness towards the object of desirous attachments. And the third cause is that one should be a nature of one should be contented. contented nature. Like whatever belongings or whatever facilities one possess should be contented with that.
Yiwa de leka tena shi leka kenda meji, jitemi leka meji, gambi gola sobi somno menke, sanjuru menye, trobatamche yagu yore, amba don longo giden.
And fourth one is to the fourth one is to leave behind all different kinds of worldly sort of activities. In another word, who is the practitioners has to decide innerly to undertake the practice of concentration alone, leaving behind all other works.
Tene ngabat ge cheku surum tsoma, surum ka dombal ongyana te tsoma che. Te surum te tengen ze ju temo mai bare. Pena pasing tu ngama ju sima te ma ju che labasum tombo surum tene tengen ze tene hera sedu.
And fifth cause and condition is to maintain, to keep the morality, properly, to keep the morality very properly. So, upon the basis of that morality, and since among the three higher trainings, since the higher training of morality is the cause of is taught to be the cause of the training of concentration. The morality is maintaining morality is very important to instill the jinin, the concentration. And also the first four perfections. The first four perfections are also conditions or causes of it.
The Juba de Hiwale Mobasungu, Jiten Nomto Pongu, Resu, Jiten Sona, Semchenle, Desha, Lonshele, Chava, Tasapon. Nomto Sana Chavardo, Debi Nomto, the Chan Chambushima, Tepongu, Resumari.
The sixth cause is to relinquish our worldly sort of discursive thoughts. Discursive thought means the thought which goes after the objects of the five objects of desirous attachment.
Saja Wembole Dana, non tutto Mapona, Tene Chapa, non Devanovic Chow. The Wemba ni Google is she Dunzile Wemba. No nom to Wemba, Sembatan nom to Wemba.
So even if the practitioners dwell in an isolated place, if the mental state is not isolated from such discursive thoughts, then it is not beneficial. I don't forgot the example.
Then is Jorwale, Kumbaya Wachigano, then does a come. Tin then Cheva come share. Cheva the Pudu to the Mapana Yoitri. Then Nama came back here and got to so Konga Tango, my get to Jana, Chiva Matavala, so but the same to train, some Nigelas of train, Canada of Nadusham. Chiva Metalas, Lodo, the sort of some Nigetas, then sending Jovandone, Yavos Chova Tank.
And as for the preliminaries of the actual practice of concentration, then one should make arrangements of arrangements of the offerings. Rinpoche says that it's better not to burn the incense. Anyhow, not only after making the arrangements of the offerings as a preliminary of one's own actual sort of meditation. Before doing the actual meditation, one should also sort of recall the understanding of the earlier sort of practices, such as reflecting on the difficulty of obtaining the human birth endowed with the prerequisites, as well as the recalling the understanding of recalling the understanding of the impermanence from different aspects. Not only before doing the actual sort of practice of concentration, but also during the off sessions. It is very helpful through reflecting, or through sort of familiarizing occasionally in these preliminary sort of practice or understandings. One's mind will definitely become more matured, to be more matured or more conducive to develop further.
Tene jamroche, sanchiche, yangla dembache, jule sondepche, chabatu chambagira sondenone, chua insecure sinjulo. Chuno insecure sinjulo, misa sondeble. That's okay.
And then as for the actual sort of practice of one should first, as in the manual of practice, one should first do the practice of taking refuge, and the supplicating prayers, and then generating the enlightenment thought. And while doing the supplicating or beseeching prayers, one should try to recite and familiarize in the meaning of those recitation, supplicating recitation, especially on the fourth line. May the confusions on the path, misconceptions and confusion on the path, may the errors on the third line, may the errors on the path may be allayed. That line one should repeat and do strongly. So now the basis of the Rinpoche's teaching today is the fourth line. If clinging arises, then it is not the view, the immaculate sort of understanding of the ultimate reality, view or immaculate understanding of the ultimate reality.
Nikene come to meeting Tatichego, meeting Della meeting Momoyasare, Cassetel, Sonjegu Gu, then Seven Nabukana, Sa Chuno, Canon Dale, Luoke Lugamba, then Lung Ul, meeting Sevano. Then they meeting Momosunya, Tinon, Temon de Sonjegu Gulu meeting Senagamna. Then Sonje Tevanwalas, Gensen Yandaju, here somebody, just a Sonje Gu, Tigava, Yona Luku Teneji, Tommy and Tombojil in the wrong and then the Gache.
And then after performing the actual sort of preliminaries, starting from the practice of taking refuge, and up to generating the enlightenment thought, then we should focus on although there are, what Rinpoche says, there are many sort of different kinds of objects, to be focused on, while familiarizing, while instilling or producing the concentration. But among them, the statue of Buddha, or drawing of the painting or the statue of Buddha is more advisable, because by focusing one's mind, eye, and it will enhance our faith as well. So we should focus. We should place that the object of concentration not very far away from us, but in a moderate distance, not very low, not very high, and. And in the Lamde teaching, it is taught that the blue flower should be sort of placed as for the object of the concentration, because the blue is believed to be not harmful for the eyes, and this object, it is taught in Lamde that this object should be blue flower written on a paper or the cloth, or should be placed maybe around 6 feet. In the extent of 6 feet.
Peter.
Nyashin Kang Pit Tooks Meadow.
Peter.
Nyashin Kang gets head on. Nyashin Jig gets head.
Then the chair. Kaya Gava Singori, Gam Shedu, Shilok Zupul, Migitayate. You know, the Kunu Yankenji, the Pedro Chamber Yankenji in Badim.
Some scholars refute that refute such approach of placing the outer object in front of the practice, in front of the practitioner. But however, since placing the object on which to focus and to instill the concentration, it is so beneficial. It is so beneficial.
Then the Zuba, then I was getting the Zuba, the Danton of Seku Grisha. Then I combat the number Honza Chatunta, Dorji Chitun. You know, Sambi Chitun, Chitun Shepa, Drama Chitunta. Then the card they was say.
And then placing the object, and then one should sit on the very comfortable cushion, with a comfortable cushion in a meditation posture, especially the first posture. The legs should be in a cross-legged posture, like the Buddha Vairocana, or in a half Vajra posture, the posture as like the posture of the Aryatara.
Rupo Trombo is song say, yeah, Mayo say, Nan Magur Jale Maje, 如果有送过，这可以解决嘛。
And the upper part of the body must be very straight, without leaning back, without bending in front, without bending in front. This is very important.
这呢，我的全部妹妹毛我们看，超过娘不些。
And the head should not be very sort of high, very high, or very low. And it should be sort of in the.
这呢，每的东朝上那给把些个的些是，中朝上那新华些个要他，每些啥是，每的爸爸些啥是干不起。
And the position of the eyes, if the eyes are widely sort of open, then it brings the discursive sort of mind, or the agitated it causes the agitated mind. It causes us to be in a agitated sort of mental state. If the eyes are closed, or if the eyes are closed, then such position will lead the practitioners to in a state of drowsiness. And should be sort of look at the tip of the nose.
这种受你我们理解，别的看中嘛对不起。
And the tongue, the teeth, the position of the teeth and the tongue should be kept in a normal states.
这的牙受中的牙个是，牙受中的，受的。
Now the tongue should be kept on the upper part of the teeth.
他这不都给这个乌的三刚个的啥呢？三种龙你不娘东着那个人，三把嘎巴在那龙在那来过个人，但是三那个这三把路线呢，龙的刚着个人，第一前边拿啥些个人，就是龙的兴趣些给全部。 龙攀着呀，做工呀，都是对象搞些个呢，大家都做出嘛个吧去，我们些旅这里请求些工呀，但呢，龙这里改眼看到，龙俺我这里嘛一把龙来不过呀的，攀着从蛤蟆光这户这里去，些个个人送把的干嘛的起来，那天全部从。
And the great Indian scholar Kamala Shila says that. Pointed that among the positions, the breathing position is most crucial, because with the breathing, the mind, our mind goes with the our minds goes with the air, our air of our air. So one should occasionally sort of inwardly examine whether the breathing is normal or not. So the breathing should be exhaling and the inhaling, the breathings. These breathings should be very gentle and normal.
是从刚这边看到这里些个人，这个如不的了，那个毛不嘛些，但是我个呢，该怎么些些，看到牛肉痛，生了那个嘛过不些，但是也你不得过样的。
As for preparation to instill the Jinen sort of concentration, Rinpoche points that we need to do a preparation. We must train ourselves in the preparation some sort of some durations, some duration earlier, before before undertaking the actual practice, such as not physically, not engaging in the works which need the physical sort of hardship, and we must lessen, or we must give up talking too much, as well as we must give up the doing recitation, give up recitation, and also give up thinking of, also give up the agitated mind which arises from taking responsibility of the society, and so on.
너 돈을 루버트네 줘야 되네. 되는데 여보세요. 강하는 매봐도. 이견도 대반 로얄라 소바트네 좀전 송거요. 런데 너는 딜루네데 소레레 이견도 되네 마제비자 셰비 펜야도 깊자 송.
And in a sutras, it says that with such a sort of position, with the meditation position, there are many benefits, such as the rising of the jinn concentration more quickly, and the person, the practitioner who sits in such position will have a lesser sort of diseases, and such position will seeing in such positions, the worldlings will become the faithful, and so on. And in the Lamde teaching, the disadvantages or the advantages of not being in this position and being in these positions are extensively pointed out.
다 감체 동들 노도 쇼비 송도 노네 샘 네비탑 굽송벌.
And then as for after being in the correct position, and after placing the object and being in correct position, the now to proceed further on to do the actual concentration, we need to have the understanding of the 9 methods of mind abiding. Among these, the first is known as the placing the mind. Placing the mind means one should place one's mind on the object only.
Tene meg zima chap juga mare che mele nam to ga ta yo nam to long do yo te sa ba no ka wo gong yo mine chima tamba kam do de do ye mare tene mi teng number sarbo go chi shi te yi chung.
And in the Lamde teaching, it is said that in order to do this, in order to undertake this placing mind on the focusing object, there has to be 4 aspects. 4 aspects. First is not not moving the object, not moving the object. Second is not moving one's own body, one's own body. Third is not to blinking the eyes, because our eyes has the nerves. Eyes have the nerves of waking up the agitated mind. So the eyes must not be. We must not blink our eyes. Although the very beginners, which says that it is very, very sort of hard because of tearing and burning and so on. When we habituate in such not blinking, then later on we will be able to stay in not blinking.
Melody told me to something attention. Then the Miba method the same to Salvo Charvashi said they're going.
And then one should focus not only the mind but also the eyes. Both the eyes and the mind must be sort of focused on the flower, the blue flower, and one should place both these until the aspect of the flower visualizes or clearly sort of until we have the clear sort of clear vision of that object in our mind.
Deva Sarva Meduva Sumchungu. Deva Yebi Neva Menda, Sunday Sumba Yenche, Deva Yamali. Saradu Meduva Nimbu, and then Google, Jetta Yude Sarvo Google. Dear to the Meduva sang it to Jet and Deva Jamari Tane, Yuru Yen Meduva, Koron Genju.
And as with regard to the concentration, normally the scholars explain that the concentration should be associated with the three aspects: the clearliness, and the blissfulness. Concentrations are associated with the clearliness, blissfulness, and the non-conceptual state. So normally, Rinpoche points out that the concentration of the third concentration of the third stage of it, above the from the concentration of the third stage, in the major philosophies, it says there are no sort of blissfulness. So that is why Rinpoche says, while we focus on the object and concentrate our mind on it, there should be sort of clearliness of the object and the non-conceptual state as well. This non-conceptual state refers to not conceiving the other object than the actual object.
Agam shebi tabdan dole somebody. Nieba nga pongu res ponja nga pong. Di nyambole Duji jet and Gurus and Dujes and Samjun jet, Kilakachi Chugu.
And in order to what say the enhance that that position, that mental position in the sutras and the shastras, they emphasized the practitioner, the followers to overcome the five falls of the concentration, and the overcome the five falls, and adhere to the followers should adhere to the 8 kinds of antidotes. All these 8 kinds of antidotes are our related with our sub-minds.
Yebachi the Lelori, Gomhim Depa, Gomjumajuma, Di Nyambu Yeyori, G the Devase, Gamna, General Gamshe, Dingenze, Pen Chambuyo, Sambe, Deba, Deba Shuna, Dingenze, Gam Go Sambi, Gamde Uguri, Dembasari, Nimba. Deba don Demba Yana, Tene, Dingenze Goma Gamgu, Zenruser, Somba. Tene Yeva de Hinjons, Gam Dedu, Tene Sam Nesagum. Nesagum Tadu Yon Gam Dedu, Hinjons and Jago, Hinjons to Zo, the Samjun Chichi. They medu Gam Sebala Subi, Gava de She Kavoyori. The Hinjons Chedu, Gava Casena, She Tunke, Samjun Chichego. The Tembe Lu Hinjons Adu. Lule Lumioboji Jushan, Lubole Devachegi. Lubole Devachana, Nama, Lu Chitnang and Sadu, Lu Jibocho, Gavasi Matukan, Chabatu Gamsi Matukan, Tele Luchitnang and Sadi. That tea Devata Shuna, then a Lubo Yombocha, Gava Karsi Gona, Shetunga, Chabatu Gamsi Tunga, Yarimbo Kasaji Gamna. Kalaman can chog, Tele Hinjon Sangat, Zendru Revurilla, Hinjon Yana, Zendru converted on Tokyo, this Zendru jewelry.
So among the five faults, first is the laziness. And laziness has to be overcome by the the antidotes. Laziness has to be overcome by adhering ourselves in the 4 kinds of positive sub-minds. 4 kinds of positive sub-minds, positive sub-minds. So among the 8 antidotes, among the 8 antidotes, the faith or sort of trust. Faith or trust or belief, or the believing faith or inspiring faith. I think both of them are there. The faith in the faith in the exposition given in the sutras and shastras regarding the concentration, the benefits, all the different kinds of benefits of the concentration given propounded in the shastras. First, we must have that kind of believing and inspiring faith in the in them, and then with this kind of belief, with this kind of faith, then the willingness or the earnestness or the genuine aspiration to undertake the practice of concentration will arises, and if the practitioners have such a very earnestness or the genuine willingness to undertake it, then the diligence or the efforts arises from that aspiration. And while out of this effort or diligence, the constant sort of diligence or constant effort in undertaking such practices, then the pliancy, the fourth antidote of the laziness, the pliancy arises within the practitioner. So pliancy, Rinpoche says there is a physical pliancy. The physical pliancy refers to a sort of feeling of very lightness in one's own sort of body, because of the very sort of positive air running in our nerves, positive sort of very gentle air running in our nerves, because of putting effort, constantly putting effort in the practice of concentration. When the pliancy, such pliancy, the feeling of lightness, of physical lightness arises because of the diligency, then at that stage the practitioners will face no hardship in staying in that position for long sort of period. So, and the practitioners will also will be able to subdue the feeling of sort of laziness as well.
Nyeba chi de Jason de the Nyambola Majebi Chamba. The Jeba don't Chamba said to 2,000 diamond. Tane Jeba said, me by Chorson, Panatata Metogam, Metog Maremba Chena, Jeba said, Gum sang the Chamba round her. Metokono Tane Gum Giata, there, Masharo Chegugari, Tapa Chambate, Gum Gumari.
The second fault of concentration is forgetting the object of concentration, and antidote to it, to overcome it. Among the eight antidotes, the mindfulness, the mindfulness. It doesn't refer to the normal sort of kind of mindfulness. Here, Rinpoche says it is mindfulness means to mindfulness here, while focusing on the blue flower. Mindfulness here refer to refer to not letting away the focused object.
Muba Sankin Chiva, Muba Sankin, some less of Marua, the Ni Sangate of Sanjuni. There you juice and Miba Sebo Mebatele, she was him.
And the third fault of the concentration, although there are two, the drowsiness and the agitation, they are counted one when we count the five faults of concentration. So the drowsiness refers to our state of unclearness, unclarity. It's a state of unclarity of the object. That unclarity, pops up within our mental state because of the I think I can say here laxity, because of the the state of laxity, which draws up the sleepiness.
Then the Gaba Segure, Gaba don't know me say Nio, Nika Nemobari. No means hanging there. Mibati to the Madana, Sam Gandaja Singable, no means Segure. Dane Gaba Sejute, no mean Matsipa, Gaba Tsipa, Gaba Sangate, Shilo to Tuatamari, Nan to Toa. Naman Debbie and the long Chevy, Mount Volan the Regia Gusono. Then to some trouble, and that's all the Chakechi, tell it Gabas.
And this the agitation refers here does not refer to the distractive sort of mental state. Distracted mental state, there are two. Agitation in Tibetan as well. There are two sort of terms or two terms. The Namying refers to the distracted mind, mental state. That means when our mind goes, when our mind runs after other object rather than focusing on the actual object. So that state is known as a distractive mental state. The agitation here refers to the agitated mental state, which runs after the five qualities of the desirous rim. In another word, the 5 objects of the desirous attachment.
The Nyambol, Hagen sing some junteri, Hagen sing the Herabre, Longjanderi, Torjanderi, some Herabde. Shedon Kanda Chegusana, Gum Shene, that's a retadu, then a Tasha Donga, Sam de Kava, Bibi to do, then do, Yanda Jilan Dogan do it, Tasha Donchene, Gum Michael. The Hene, the net also don't send then Sam get net on Hakotella. Hagen say.
And as for the antidote to them, to overcome the drowsiness and the agitation, among the 8 antidotes, the introspection is their antidote. Introspection refers to a kind of wisdom, our understanding, our knowledge, which knows what is not, and how, and which knows all, which is the knowledge of what you call knowledge that knows the different sort of different functionings, whether it's a proper or improper functioning, different sort of mental state, whether such mental state is fault of concentration, or whether it is a mental state is the real sort of feature of the concentration, and so on. So out of that, what you call such knowledge or understanding or wisdom, the practitioner will be able to, identify the faults, whether he is in a faults of meditation or whether he is beyond the faults of meditation. When he sees in the faults of meditation, then he used that knowledge to overcome them.
Nyambo Dumise Bas, Shinga Shuna, Shinga Satam Mizibateri. The Nyambola Duze Samba. Samba such the Samjun Chis, my Samjun singer to Soga. So as a Sam to Logo Gavim. Samjun to Soga Sam Yongut Shade. Samjung Samba Sangha de Pena Sam de Yurgi to do Tinken, Leka Kunken Chiri, Pena Jarbo Chambo, Linkar Tinken, Mindra Hotel, Samjung Samba Seki. Just Samjung Samba Sangha de that Yambun do Seki, Pena Shima do Gabashuna, the Yambolo Toro Chengen, Samba Seki.
And the fourth fault of concentration is known as not applying the antidote. Non-application of the antidote. Non-application of the antidote while the practitioner is in the state of the above two opposing factors, drowsiness, while the practitioner is in either in drowsiness or in the agitated state. So, that is known as the non-application of the antidote. Non-application of the antidote. As for the antidote of it, among the 8 antidotes, the intention in Tibetan is one kind of sub-mind, and that sub-mind is like a person who would say, person who invites the king, person who is like a person or the servant or a servant who invites the king in the garden. So that intention, the sub-mental state, it would say invites our principal mind towards the various kinds of objects.
Sam de Chilo Dog Yana Chu Kukun Mibak to the yacht. Or Shinga Chambo Shuna Nyambo Mombo Tango.
So this intention or sort of examining inwardly whether one is in a lesser sort of lesser state of drowsiness and agitate, or whether one is in a stronger states of drowsiness and agitation. This intention or the sub-mind, the intention or sub-mind scrutinizes or examines inwardly through such ways, and by seeing that we ourselves in the lesser or greater, or then we apply. We will be we will be able to apply the antidotes and overcome them.
Penasem Shina Shonjo Tsembi Namdar Mohare Sembo of Tensia, Drawasi. Sam Gelson Yina, Chiva Metaba of Ten, Sam Joasi.
For example, while scrutinizing inward, while examining inwardly, when the practitioners in the state of either of the two sort of opposing factors of the concentration, when oneself find that one is in the stage of drowsiness, then at that time one should instead of continuing sort of effort to place your mind on the object, one should recall the one's understanding of the qualities of all the bodhisattvas, and let the drowsiness wane away.
Nyeba ngaba ndu shei traba le, nyembo soba shei traba. Sam de shenge meba shei 야고 대송이나 되는 년보 제거 말해. 년보 제바 이나요. 남도 롱도게 해. 제자때 네바 나바들 누세라바 마고바샤. 디 년보때 동냠세 누미집 동냠 동냠 가게요는 디는 누미집 동냠세도 용 선주지 선주 되게라가데 샘데 레벨 시가가게 해. 근데 강겐치 이툴 대중겐치.
And the remaining part of the earlier portion, and when we find that we are in the agitated, the agitated state, through scrutinizing, through examining, then we should apply the antidote of of reflecting or contemplating on the impermanence. Now, coming to the present point, the fifth fault of concentration is known as over-application of the antidotes towards the two opposing factors. When over-application of the antidotes, that is over-applying, even after pacifying the drowsiness and the agitation. If you continuously put effort in the intention, in the intention, then it becomes the over-application, the fault of concentration. For this, the antidote, the balanced effort. Rinpoche says that many English version has equanimity. Equanimity, actually, there are three kinds of equanimity. It can be a sort of equanimity, mental sort of state of equanimity of the mental state. It is a mental state which after overcoming the opposing factors, then our mental state should not be in a very sort of should be in a moderate should be in a moderate moderate effort state, or I would say balanced sort of mental effort, should be in a balanced mental effort. That mental state must not be must not fall in any of the extremes, intensive or the opposite of intensive.
Gam tel ke chewachi tombo drim pardu le tama drim le remu che gu le sumbare tombo semba ma drim na namto momo te ka thu ya ma le tene drim ne namto gyanda member yur korong tendo deva shuna ra cham cham le gu semba to se le che pardu le che ki yon le tra sona yon namto long sona yon drim yon le otre che gu ya sare.
Very crucial sort of point of with regard to the crucial point with regard to the practice of concentration. We need three sort of we need to do it. We need to undertake the concentration, practice of concentration through firstly putting sort of much effort, mentally, physically putting much effort, because without sort of putting much effort in the beginning, one's mind will not be able to rest in a focused, one-pointed way. And after seeing that one is in the state of one-pointedness, then one should sort of release release or minimize such effort, because if you continuously even after even after the concentration sort of arises, concentration arises, if you continuously put much effort, then it will lead to, again, it will lead to, what's say, draw up more sort of concepts within you. So we need to just rest or release our mental sort of effort at that time. So these all are related with the first sort of method of mind sort of abiding, which is now going to give brief explanation on the remaining of it. Second is known as continuously placing the mind on the object. That is to place one's own focus the mind furthermore on the object. And third is known as placing again on the object. That means that while undertaking the practice, when we find ourselves distracted or ourselves sort of distracted, means when we find our minds is away from the actual object, then we need to place again on that very object. The actual third is to know the. In some English translation, it has closer placement, and closely placing. I think it's intensively placing. This refers that while undertaking the practice, we should place again and again. Whenever we find our mind is distracted, we should place again and again on the meditation, the focusing object. The fifth is known as Dulvar Cheba, means overcoming or taming or overcoming. That refers to while in the meditation, when we feel sort of when the feeling of not wishing to undertake the sitting practice, not wishing. So when the state of unwillingness to further undertake the concentrate practice of concentration. At that time, that unwillingness has to be unwillingness or not wishing to do further. That has to be tamed, or that has to be controlled first through reflecting on the various benefits of the concentration. And the sixth is known as pacifying or calming the discursive thoughts. When we find ourselves in a very discursive mood, then instead of continuing the practice further on, we should first pacify or calm down all these discursive thoughts through through reflecting on the faults of distracted minds. And seventh is known as the thoroughly pacifying, which means that when one finds in the states of the drowsiness or in the state of agitation, one should thoroughly first, instead of continuing, one should thoroughly first pacify them.
동보 기보다 삼이 가동리 되네 som보다 삼이 개장촌나 대사동 되네 제바데 다 삼그 좀래리 등에서 감비 좀래 제바데 제치도 제바세도 드림나 되네 삼 내도지 가세 감나 삼 내대통ken지.
Among these among the nine sort of nine methods of mind avoiding. The first four are the methods of placing the mind, are methods of placing the mind on the object, and the latter four are the manner of overcoming the opposing factors of the concentration, manner of overcoming the opposing factors while we undertake the practice of concentration. And the ninth one is the actual, what you call, the nature of concentration.
Kagi.
Gubati.
Tene gubati dere nyamar jobar chesedu tene torba maje nayo samasena rona duna karu yena semne lugati.
So the ninth one is known as placing in the state of equipoise, placing in the state of. This refers to a stage, such state. This refers to the nyambar joba, resting or placing, resting in a state of equipoise. Even not only during the practice of concentration, but also even while during the off session, while eating or walking or talking or whatever, the practitioner's mind rest or in the state of equipoise, that stage.
The same tell some here in the Hamzu do you know that Tata can Nashate? There comes some 30%, the reason, but gum Taniba Marizon.
So that part of the stability, that part of the stability of the equipoise. Actually, there are three kinds of minds in our in the worldly existence. The minds of desirous realms, mind of form realm, and the mind of formless realms. And this stage is not a mind of the two lower sort of realms. This stage is known as the mind of one-pointed mental stage of the desirous realm.
Khenchen Appey Rinpoche Khenchen Appey Rinpoche Hine Taniba Chabar Hine Ngoma Tawar there's Zugam Dubi Samri.
Through sort of constantly familiarizing in that stage, then one day the mental pliancy will arise in the practitioners, and at that time then the actual sort of concentration, which falls in the mind of the upper realm, the actual concentration arise. However, Khenchen Koramba says that even in the state of that equipoise, the ninth method of mind abiding. There should be the pliancy.
You know, that can something Hine Chambo Yomari, Hine Chambo Tomna, and Hine Seyoris, Mazi Hinzon Chambo Tomna, Hine in Sundola Sumbarisum.
And since the ninth stage is not a greater what you call calm abiding. Since the ninth stage is not a greater sort of calm abiding.
Then Hine teacher Langton Gangu, Langton and Yer, and Jidem Langton, my Hine to the Hindu Yarin, no more Yari, Temore. Then Langton, the Temon Langton, the Hirag number Jensen. Saguyer, Zuhon, Yuzumili, Gendahon Cheva, Goman Tomje Yaga, Oman, Dua in some gum devately. Easy to sink into gum gear. Their gum do to Oma women Yamon Wapon, Goma Mugitas of talking.
On the basis of such concentration, then the practitioners have to further familiarize in the understanding. Realizing or seeing. And in order to familiarize in that the higher training of wisdom, we need there are several sort of 9 stages of the absorption. 9 stages of absorption taught as a support of undertaking the practice of wisdom.
The Langton Dam may be Langton the Gambaina. Then it taper some good ever topical Dachamba to Sonje. They won't be now. Temi Kayake, Hine taken to us a tea to Dame Gam Dacham Tonkin Yuri, tell it Duntulas by Yamari. Magida Chamba Kake, you can make it in the Yasun and they main game. Then Kake something Mugi Tabasi, Ron Sonjeto, Tashin it, and then something Mugi Tabasi, and then Jalona Yandogi.
And then on that stage, the followers, some followers would say, may take that stage as a basis of familiarizing themselves in the mundane wisdom which sees the faults of the lower rims and the qualities of the higher rims, and through that mundane wisdom, they will be able to attain the higher births of the births of the form and form rim and formless rim. And the practitioners who which says that even in the Hindu practitioners, there were many practitioners who gained such a stage of concentration through which they they accomplish or they gain the higher birth rim. And as for the practitioners of the liberating, who engages in the liberating path, in order to familiarize in the understanding of the selflessness, it can be such concentration stage can be the support of it. But in order to attain the Sharvaka arhatship and higher Sharvaka arhatship and the higher sort of the accomplishment, the wisdom, the practice of familiarizing in the wisdom of selflessness has to be done on the basis of the actual higher concentration.
Something we get on the Khenchen Appey Rinpoche, something we get on the Daiham Nyamon Diane Chopas and Mary, Megi Village, Mari.
it is so beneficial to it is so beneficial of achieving the actual the concentration, because through it, through through attaining the actual concentration, then the person, the practitioner, will have no attachment, desirous attachment will know engage in the non-virtuous deeds and so on.
That's what to take it.
Saja boye de boye jo Papa Jamba Shana Java La Jasa Junior Suda Jaja Jene How to Swash Papa Mea Singer Ganda Mala de La Luna Maria Tavecha Sambo Jebe Malando Java Tamje Shinga Donia Domari Java Duje Dana Dunya Sanjana Sanja Sajena Shuvata Tera Juje Yana Maluva Sanje Javan Dagi Hava Meda Nava Misa Jansono Yaya Java Ganje Yandana Jeje Deva Shiva Namje Dagi Dhamma Dhamma Java Dhamma Dasyananda Mane Chadon Dugu Tambaye Java Jadala Nasa Dhamma Nanda Janjo Shema Bumare Ravanyam Gava Java Pave Juganje Java Jadala Cheva Java Kana Lame Java Java Tamje Laya Sambo Java Java Kana Chaza Java Debe Sanje Ananda Chocho Chetayatana Kansha Chepa Kaya Majan Dada Ramya Samso Chancho Rembara Sanje Chocho Kala Shinachi Tata Jaja Yonso Tabara Chancho Shama Kansha Jam Sanje Sanje Arabdo Kama Chocho Sanje Kanachi Tata Tata Nime Dewa Jawa Kanje Chocho Rewan Jabaraja, Janjo Java, Dania, Daja, Jandawa, Kanda, Java, Jamba, Jara, Kanda, Java, Java, Dado, Dania, Rabda, Java, Ganja, Jasa, Labja, Zambia, Java, Yansa, Zaja, Jara, Java, Jama, Yanda, Dado, Mania, Jama, Aya, Gata, Madame, Zenga, Juan, Dame, Rua, Ganja, Dana, Jazam, Donja, Digan Bala Jana Razande Junjo Zanano Java Gano Java 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 Namzo Jadra Bema Jume Java Yenda Namra Dova Shinje Jano Jano Jazam Nisa Danga Rabu Shiva Deva Dava Dava
Gangan Jendo Dam
sorry,
Shiva Yansa Zaje Simyanda Jejana Simbo Shiva Danya Radna Ma Kava Kundu Jim Aye Jidang Zumbo Kanchi Deda Danya Tado Joba Deda Ngana Danya Simje Shiva Dada Mala Jim Tala Pembara Deve Jobo Sambe Shiva Rabdo Tembo Deda Danya Tado Jim Deda Danya Namya Yime Sanje Seje Ngurve Masa Dada Daya Jawad Mawa Kava Kandami Dalaya Chiba Jaji Jawa Nambi Tambi Chis Sanje Chiba Kanda Nawa Sambo Chiba Nambra Mawa Kava Kanda Chiba Siva Tambi Diyago Sana Hishi Dane Mese Tata Shira Dinzen Den Kanye Mese Jeje Jeje Dena Jenesh Shindra Sanje Meda Sanje Sanje Seje Vinashu Shije Jeva Shije Tavaraji Tetra Mali Danje Shuz Tasan Jala Duzun Teni Sanje Jansu Shina Jat Kava Jazu Shije Rabdu Sanje Yanla Jazu Jat Yawa Kanya Yanla Namdo Dova Kanje Sambaji Sanje Sunla Tatu Chubaji Tisun Shibe Java Sana Rabdu Kavayi Teta Jinya Sunyam Loya Toja Dajan Rabdu Maha Kava Tamje Kishe Sheshe Dajan Yuvaraje Tusun Shit Kishe Sheshe Gine Yuvaraje Tusun Shiva Meyasin Teta Kishe Jela Dageta Tatu Teta Gine Jumaran Shive Nandara Toje Kaya Tusun Dagesh Teta Kishe Teta Ngambadra Teta Mane Janatan Yawa Daye Shina Gala Kaya Majin Chikin Chanshi Rinpo Sanche Kule Nyingya Deva Rado Shit Kanje Tanta Tachiwa Kanda Nyiga Chiditan Kani Goye Deve Todata Kanda Yedin Chivetan Kanda Java Jambo Tajita Kani Jive Sanata Chava Mevra Jive Yeshita Shara Tavna Tinsintat Chidana Yanda Jubrachi, Hediatana Yansata, Nimatana Kanda Jambrachi, Digiatana Tomeraj, Sambo Jivetania Zobraji, Shana Jazo Nambratas, Simje Jazo Dania Nambrat, Shana Jazo Radatas, Ishe Jazo Radota Brachi, Chiva Jazo Nambratas, Mala Jazo Yansa Zobrachi, Sanje Jazo Radochi. Kava Jazo Minje Chivaji, Ayanti San Shive Jo, Chanchu Shive Mala Chatana, Sambo Shive Chanchu San, Malian Zobraji, Jawa Kanji Sejeto, Kanji Mene Konda San Shecha, Kiva Tesa Zombraji, Kiva Tesa Tamje Rado, Pita Ngada Yijana, Chiva Nada Shina Yondo, Mua Sambo Chivaji, Dada Jateta Zombraji, Kane Java Samboji, Jabajane Mala Jabaraji, Mawa Kava Kandamit, Tia Java Malian Zobaraji, Jabadane Zayama, Idana Jatsa Samebaraji, Jabazame Balami, Ida Javadan Jazavaji, Nangeta Javaji, Simjamale Dayan Tishin, Chizan Ledan Yamata, Daya Malanda Yandamo, Kaya Josha Janata, Jajanda Java Nalabu, Ladami and Java Chan, Shinjandanya Galava Bulava, Kanjanga Javo, Chanjan Joji and Jesu Ramesh, and Jataya Devaji, Sanatan Vejudo, Dijoro, and Jason Jamalanda, and then Yazam Japon, and then Jabon and Bako. Daya Danya, Danya Varanya, Mizendria, the Leva, Kondo Zambo Tinajin, Etarim Buramedo, the Shinja, Tamian Abo, Dagi, Yemeja, one year Jabata, the Zambo Jabati, Nirtamale, Yanso Chamaraja, Yeshadania Sudatan, Leda Gadon of the Demaraja, the Damade Mambutin. Chidasama Shivaraja, Chishima Trondotin, Sona Sanja Benjere Trado, Sanjay Sanja Colora, Yunan Dedan Javatam Jet, Sumbo Jivam, Chamatani, Tandamalana, Tia, Nambara Member, Chinche Chala Sanye Mache Champe Pawe Chitara Kante Sambo Tenya Tishin Tata Kanje Chiswata Yawa Teta Tamche Rato Nga Tison Shebe Jawa Tamche Nga Kala Chato Nga Wate Taki Jewe Tsawa Dik Sambo Chinche Rato Nga Waraji Tani Chiwe Duche Kir Jiva Tamche Tani Chisate Nga Suma Nawa Taya Dik Yawa Jinche Shingdre Rabdo Cho Tison Nane Malamandu Tamche Mali Ngondo Girwa Sho Teta Mali Taji Yons Jitan Chisa Sunche Pembraji Jewe Jengo Sanche Ngo Ema Dambo Shinda Tele Nawa Taya Jewe Ngas Teto Sho Tene Taji Londe Radon Cheva Mambo Cheva Taji Laye Taji Chichi Nan Sunche Nola Pemba Mambo Je Samba Jeve Mala Temba Jewa Chungse Taji Chis Nende Mala Jewa Nan Kichi Chichi Tamche Chichi Sambo Chiba Dine Besana Taya Tamba Kan Vandanga Chiva Chiva Naya Pa Nibe Niratam Mala Java Dita Chichi Taya Chiva Kanla Pin Kambo Sambo Jimbe Chinda Nisana Nama Le Tamba Ishu
Khenchen Appey Rinpoche Khet Rupe Wanchu Khenchen Yonde Sangpo Wu Jamyang Min Namru Chenpa Dongse Asanga Rinpoche Cho Samshin Tendu Tendu Sibari Kewa Sheba Lajun Khenpo Nandan Lapsun Novin Sejen Paso Bibaja Chinyen Rungdo Dongkui Jezu Ma Konga Chile Parte Ne Rupe Shusol Demni Tenya Serjan Soma Taw Nyame Kuram Chingbe Tenpa Rinpoche Chedan Jeda Pal Sewa Chingbe Tenpa Dini Zamling Sharnu Yudu Kundu Darshi Jeba Tang Tenzin Pagbe Chivu Khanla Sushu Nam Tenda Dove Ledo Shabe Minjur Dorji Rankam Su Tenpa Tang Tela Tene Yangbe Yankam Kundu Nemu Chukse So Juji Guba Chinye Mingme Rangsa Shine Dolam Chunjur Deji Zoden Sabe Pala Tongche Tuba Tang Shebar Tu Dönji Led Tene Kwena Jamcho Khenchen Appey Rinpoche Yonde Sangpo Cho Daso Duje Sonam Shari Chakor Tatu Ngambar Gijin Chodun Tambe Chobe Wenang Bumdu Choshi Shungja Yongwa Tang Sharjungdu Junjowa Jesu Mandini Salan Jambeyan Yesu Songxing Chundun Zechun Chengwe Dundashi Sencho Sungden Kunji Dongjuji Lamsanzi Samba Komanam Yesu Zitu Bashin Jongwa Jeji Dundu Mikde Pancho Duba Yongla Soja Tang Sheba Shamcho Khenchen Rinpoche Chola Lengpu Gol Chisum Tang Tar Dongse Rinpoche Dun Bunsun Gol Sumdong Shabzong Nambanila Bunsun Gol Tongda Inire Shen Namla Bunsun Gol Chigdong Abjade Lotawa Namla Gol Chigdong Re Kendu Namla Dabgal Gendu Nambe Tsu Shushuva Nam Susu Chadu Kunje Gol Sumja Re Che Kungu Shuva Lana Gongdu Chida Sova Taberende Nam Te Deshu Dube Tumen Sesi Jamjong Yo Chen Chen Che Che Sova Debala To the holy feet of the most respected Guru Khenchen Appey Rinpoche, the ornament of the tradition of the great five Supreme Sakya Masters, Rinpoches, Khenpos and Sangha members, along with all the devotees who are taking part in this holy ceremony. Jetsunma Kunga Chile Paltero Dolma Palace has pleasure to make an offering of an auspicious Kata Nimodelic before image of Lord Buddha, an offering of 30,000 rupees to Venerable Khenchen Appey Rinpoche for being extremely kind to us, bestowing such rare and wonderful teaching. 3,000 rupees to His Eminence Dongse Asanga, 2,000 rupees each to Shaprung Rinpoche, 100 rupees, 1,000 rupees each to the Lord Savas, double offering to Tulkus and Khenpos, 300 rupees each to all the monks and the students who are here to receive this holy teaching from Khenchen Appey Rinpoche. Therefore, from whatever amount of merit we obtain from this virtuous deed, we would like to request the Sangha community to pray that may Buddha Dharma, which is unmistaken guidance of sentient beings towards the state of Buddhahood, flourish in all the corners of this world. May the upholders of Buddha Dharma live long as an object of accumulating merit for sentient beings. May sentient beings find conducive atmosphere to hear, contemplate, and meditate on the holy words of the great enlightened one. May this world of ours become free from conflict war, famine, and negative affliction at this time. May timely shower fall upon us, and may the fertile soil produce good harvest. May we always find favorable conditions to gather together like this and study the true Dharma now and in the future as well. May the most respected Guru Khenchen Appey Rinpoche live long without any health complications, and may his noble wishes be fulfilled. May he turn the will of Dharma to dispel the darkness of ignorance in the future as much as he has been undertaking all the time in the past. May Jituma Unga Chilekwate be able to walk on the spiritual path traversed by the holy beings of the Immaculate Twin lineage. May she be bestowed with wisdom of Manjushri, and may she always be on top rank in the field of the study of Buddha Dharma. May all prayers be fulfilled now and always. May the Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha, Bodhisattvas, tutelary deities, Dharma protectors, and the spiritual masters always bestow their blessing upon us. Kempo Ketu Chodalane, Gomu Bumchike, Buvananchene, Tarede, Sunjula, Chaviki, Dubisto, Chalagi, Chenere, and the member, Keruchi Gumba, Karit, Charlotan. Until the idea related to get Jagachadan, top Kandich, other Bokunstana, Sun Bumchina, Yore, being until Tanju Chad, and get you now the Tamai, Sunju, Yongola, Woman Ijaki, Ujema, Fish, Tanju Shuyu. Kempo Ketu Choda, graduate from Sakya College, made a contribution of rupees 100,000 for the Sangha. Actually, he advised us that this amount either be spent as an offering for Sangha, or we can choose it to be used in any suitable way we find. So therefore, we have decided to divide the amount among all the students by distributing 200 rupees each. Thank you.
Khenchen Chushin Debarat, Chushin Gajan Dada Nishi, Khenchen Malu Pasan, Nakana Debarama, Kyawa Dada Debarat, Panela Me Tushi Chinla, Jibin Dishin Nijit, Ajala San Ambarata, Chidra Soa Dajindu, Tempe Alava Pandian Saja, Maria Chudra Dishin. Kalan Jaja Gonga Jansan, Sambe Shabi Memata, Lama Jaja Bende, Kara Maja Jizan, Yavaneva Pandian Saja, Temba Yuran Nebeta, Jan Jaja Java Tamji, Sansan Jida Divi, Ganga Sambo Yudamba Yuran Nebeta Shishu.